normally we talk about business and topics that deal with business or business professionals, and this gentleman is ideal because he is what you call a business coach.
In 2002, I was crossing the street in Brooklyn, and I was hit by a car. And I was raced off to the hospital. I was in a coma. Doctors didn't know if I was going to live or not. What had happened is my head hit the pavement so hard that I broke my skull.
Wow.
I lost most of my vision. Doctors said most likely I would never be able to walk again. Now, during that time period, I created a mastermind group. So I went to the group and I said, I'm going to create an unreasonable goal. In 90 days from today, I'm not only going to be able to walk again, but I'm going to be able to run, and run 5 miles. So my training began, and it was pure hell. My training was so difficult. Every time I fell, and I fell a lot, or every time I was ready to give up on my dream of running again, the group was there supporting me. 87 days after I made that declaration, 6 months after my accident, 6 months after doctors not knowing if I was going to live or not, let alone walk again or even run, I'm running my 5 miles with 22 of my friends and family cheering me to the finish line. And at that moment, I realized the power of a team. I was only as strong as the team I build around myself. From that accident, I then created a model for business owners. Okay, if we can do that in my personal life, let me see how I can do this in my professional life, my company. So I started 2 more companies, and I used this mastermind group that you were just talking about, and brought those companies up to very successful business levels. What I mean by unreasonable is that it's a stretch for you. It's beyond where you would normally go on your own. That's one part of the definition. The other part of the definition is that reason comes from where? The mind,
The mind, right.
And unreason comes from where? Do you remember?
Heart.
The heart. So when you're being unreasonable, following your heart, getting really clear on what your heart is saying is the right direction to be going in, and then you go beyond where you would normally go, that's my definition of being unreasonable. So we take you through the process of making sure it's a stretch for you, beyond where you would normally go on your own. Then the group's job is to make sure you get it done. I've had 5 companies now, and I understand the money stress of having money or not having money, where are you going to get your next paycheck, how are you going to make payroll this month. And money is an energetic thing. It comes from within you. When you align yourself with being successful, when you feel successful, when you're really coming from your heart and you're grounded and you're focused and you're set, you attract the money to you. It's a really wild thing. A major part of the program is getting you ready to receive money. And I don't mean for anything other than feeling like the money is coming. When you feel it, have you ever been around somebody and you're like, wow, that person's amazing?
Yes.
Yeah. And it's because they're like this, they're on fire, and they're, you know, and you're like, you get attracted to that. Well, money is the same thing. So when you're coming from that perspective, and when you've had that burning fire, that energy, money starts coming to you that way. It's called the law of attraction. The law of attraction is like energy attracts like energy. So whatever you're feeling with emotion and thinking, you attract. So if you're thinking very negative thoughts and you're saying, I want a lot of money, what do?
Attract the negative thoughts.
Exactly. So you end up saying, I really want money, but you're saying it with like this negative energy. You do this, the money doesn't come. But what's on the other side of that, when you feel it, the money starts coming like you would not believe. I have a program, a 90-day program called Blitzing the Market. It's all about getting you really clear on what it is that you sell. What do you really sell? You know, it's not what you think you sell. Have you heard of a person named Paul Orfalea? I guarantee you know his company. Kinko's.
Oh, of course.
Of course. What he sells is peace of mind.
Oh,
Think about that. So we get you really clear on what it is that you really sell. And once you get clear on that, we develop your product lines around that, and your message to how you sell those products are all going to be based on what you're really selling.